Today, we will talk about Chinese walls and their role in preventing conflicts of interest. Who's responsible for ensuring compliance? Let's find out.
Chinese walls are established to prevent the flow of sensitive information between different areas of a company, particularly between corporate finance activities and other business functions. These barriers help maintain confidentiality and prevent potential conflicts of interest. Why it is required to have the Chinese wall?
Without an effective system of functional barriers, there is a heightened risk of conflicts of interest arising within a firm. This can occur when individuals with access to confidential and price-sensitive information use it inappropriately for personal gain or to the detriment of clients. To address this concern, paragraph 4.3 of the Corporate Finance Advisor Code of Conduct sets clear guidelines. The firms can act fairly and in the best interests of clients. Restricting the flow of information in regard to the need-to-know principle would mitigate the risks of breaches of the insider dealing prohibitions.
Who would be responsible for compliance with the Chinese wall's requirement?
The senior management of a corporate finance advisory firm is primarily responsible for ensuring compliance with Chinese walls. They oversee the implementation of control measures and establish a control room function to monitor and enforce information barriers. The control room plays a critical role in maintaining the integrity of the Chinese walls. They ensure that employees are aware of their responsibilities and have the necessary knowledge to handle confidential information appropriately. There is no one-size-fits-all approach for each firm and its senior management to decide on its operational procedure. However, it should be considered on the totality of the information handling procedures and controls to protect the information, and wherever any breaches or inadequacies take remedial actions promptly. The extent is concluded within factors like the roles of the staff, the features of transactions, and whether the barriers should be set permanent. Other physical separation factors, such as compliance culture and attitude, conflicts management, form of information stored, physical control, IT infrastructure, support functions, insider lists, and above-the-wall staff and training would also be included in the consideration. As the position of each firm is various, the degree of the wall would be sufficient as long as it effectively mitigates the risks of exposure.
Can all staff on the private side of a Chinese wall acquire the information of all deals?
Private side of a licensed firm is the group of staff that have access to inside company information that is not available to the public. The corporate finance information should generally be restricted to those who are just within need-to-know extent. Thus, the corporate finance information should only be available to the relevant staff, but not all, on the private side of a Chinese wall.
Sometimes, staff may legitimately cross the wall in handling the transactions or conducting other business activities. The Commission would allow it, but subject to proper controls and procedures. The duty of confidentiality should be maintained until the information turns to public or cease to be price sensitive. Additionally, the record of such wall crossing should be kept, and it should be a factor to consider whether the staff member who crosses the wall would be appropriate in conducting other type of business activities that would potentially aggravate the risks of exposure.
Persons who leak confidential or price-sensitive information for insider dealing could be issued cease and desist and cold shoulder order for disqualifying from directorship and management of the company. For criminal liability, it can be subject to imprisonment for a period of up to 10 years and a fine of up to 10 million Hong Kong dollars. The SFC license may also be suspended or revoked.